Welcome. You have reached the review time with Imperial. This is the review for Season 5, Power, Episode 9. Let's get into it. So coming off of last week's episode with RIP to Kanan Stark, we enter just the aftermath of the news spreading to the media and everything about Kanan shootout with the cops and the cops losing their lives. So it starts off with basically everybody who's close to Kanan or involved with Kanan, the spin-off or what their take was it. So it starts off with Ghost, Tyreek, Tommy, and Tasha. Tyreek is watching the footage on the news. He's mourning over Kanan death. He hears argument, and the argument is Ghost and Tommy arguing with Tasha, how she set this up without their knowledge, and Tyreek could have died. Tyreek hears them arguing. He comes out, and he's in defense of his mother, basically saying, I chose to do this. I knew that Kanan wouldn't pretty much go without a fight, so I chose to do this for the family. And so you're seeing Tyreek come into the role of not just a boy, he's trying to become a young man who's saying, this is the family, I want in on the business. Stop keeping me like a child. So Ghost is pretty much like, Ghost still has this vision of wanting Tyreek to be this boy that didn't have to go through the things he had to go through and have this a different type of lifestyle. But because of his choices, it led Tyreek down the same road, just in a different way. So Tyreek bucks at Tommy. Tommy jumps up. Tyreek bucks back. Ghost bucks back at Tyreek, letting him know that you still a child. You know, get your bags. You going back to school. So when he getting his stuff, they like, yo, you need to check him. Tasha pretty much like, you need to check. That's your son. So from there, you had Ghost walking back with Tyreek to the bus station or the train station, and they're having a conversation. Ghost is still spilling the spill, like, basically, I didn't want this role for you. Tyreek, pretty much in a nutshell, without going back and forth with the conversation, pretty much says, yeah, it is what it is now. I want in on his life. So Ghost asks Tyreek, well, what do you want from me? He pretty much says, I want you to teach me the fucking game, Ghost. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a way to talk to your father, number one. But that's where Tyreek is right now. And so, of course, Ghost is not feeling that. So, they part their ways. Tyreek makes like he's beelining to go get on a train, and Ghost walks off. Tyreek doubles back. He doesn't get on the train. He goes about his business. So Tyreek then goes to the Italians where Kanan had took him to in last week's episode, and he asks to speak to the head boss by himself. Now, I'm not sure if the Italian head boss knows that that's James St. Patrick's son, aka Ghost. I'm not sure he knows that, but he speaks to him pretty much like, yeah, sorry to hear wiped out. So he said, well, basically, Tyreek tells him I has his weight. I know how to move pills up in school in Connecticut, but I don't know nothing to do with this weight, though. So the Italian boss said he'd take him on for one time just to see how it go. Meanwhile, Tyreek said, I need a favor. He need a fake ID. So you later find out that Tyreek uses that fake ID to get Kanan's ashes by saying he's his son. So that's how Tyreek is in mourning. He looked at Kanan like his father figure versus he don't look at Ghost like that. So by taking those ashes, that's like taking on Kanan's spirit. Well, I'm gonna do this whether Ghost teaches me or not. I'm gonna do this on my own. Now we go to Angela is still after the Menendez, so they give her a window to say, since they found the head of the Menendez brother in a hotel, they pretty much saying all bets is off. They're open game again. So Angela asked for approval to go after the sister. However, they gave her a window to be able to go after the sister. So from there, she goes after Andre and offers him a deal to pretty much snitch and tell on the Menendez sister. So he pretty much standoffish at first, but he later comes back to her, says he's willing to give a deal. So he pretty much, the Menendez sister met up with Andre, told him, basically you messed up. I can't, trust you gonna get things together right now. You got too much heat. So she picked Christopher in charge, and now Dre's the number 2. Dre is spiteful and revengeful, so he not feeling that. So Christopher pretty much comes to him to make sure that they cool. He tells her, Dre, hey, listen, she want me to come lullaby, she want me a private area, me and her gonna meet up. I think she want me to tap it. So Dre takes that opportunity to tell Angela where they gonna be meeting up at, so that pretty much that could drop the dime on them. And that would give Dre clearance. He clears himself by getting her locked up. However, it goes through. Christopher meets up with the Menendez sister. They about to have sex, and then she gets a call, and nobody answers, and then the feds break in, and she gets locked up. So from there, after she gets locked up, Angela is a big win for the department and a big win for Angela. So at that point, Angela is looking at Mox, where she gave him that offer. He still never took that offer. Now she's in the office. She see Mox and Sax together. They looking like they up to no good. She slips in there in Mox's office. She gets a chance to see who's their CI. Now they got 2 CIs because they're working on 2 different situations. They're working on the CI with Teresi. That's how they trying to bring down Tommy or Ghost. Or they got the CI with Proctor, where they're trying to bring down Angela and Ghost. So from there, they pretty much look at. She sees the pictures of Teresi with Mox and Sax. So she takes pictures of them, and she brings those pictures to Ghost, letting him know, hey, Teresi is snitching. Y'all need to handle that. From there, Teresi, there was a fumble with the distribution, where they're distribution drugs into the prison system, where it was looked like somebody snitched. So Teresi's right-hand man, that's been his right-hand man for all these years, is like, yo, something is off with this. And so Teresi, he's been like looking funny at Teresi the whole time or whatever. So he later overhears Teresi pretty much saying, yo, Tommy didn't have anything to do anything. We're gonna blame James. So he's feeling some type way, like, nah, I thought the whole plan was to get Tommy out of here. So him and Teresi's having a blow up, and before you know it, Tommy comes in. And just when Tommy comes in, he turns his back and says to Tommy pretty much like, yo, your father, before you know it, Teresi takes the knife, kills his right-hand man for all these years, so pretty much stopping him from telling Tommy he was a snitch. So Ghost takes the information that Angela gave him. He goes sees the head boss for the Italian. The Italian boss knew who he was, told him he knew he was Ghost, and then pretty much Ghost told him that the hit that Kanan said he did, that wasn't nothing to do. He had nothing to do with it. That was a lie. But Ghost did show the head boss the pictures that Teresi was a snitch. So from there, you had Proctor has Mox and Sachs got Proctor to wear a wire, basically get James to confirm that Angela is crooked, or Angela, or something about the death or whatever. So Proctor always been playing back and forth in his head whether or not James and them really like him, or they just using him, or is he next to die. So pretty much at that point, when he goes sees James to get him on the wire, James said to him pretty much, we family, you know what I'm saying? But it sound and felt sincere to Proctor. So Proctor instantly started thinking in his head like, oh man, I shouldn't be doing this. So he wrote down on a piece of paper to Ghost, I'm wearing a wire. So Ghost is automatically looking like, oh man, this some BS. So he pretty much start asking him the question on the stuff. So now Ghost has to play off of it. He's furious, but he still has to keep his cool and play off it because he knows he's riding a wire. So he's pretty much telling him, hey man, listen, Angela didn't have anything to do with anything. She didn't know anything. So he didn't basically give Proctor information on the wire. Proctor kept the deal that Mox and Sachs gave him, where he signed off on it. He kept that deal, and the deal was whether he got any information or not, the fact that he was willing to wear a wire gets him off. So right now at this point, Proctor's clear off of everything. So after he unhooked the wire, Ghost pretty much jacked him up like, yo man, what's going on? Why would you do something like this? Why you let me know they was on to you, whatever. And so Proctor pretty much saying they all over Angela. They really trying to get her. She gonna flip on everybody once they tie her down and get her implemented. You need to start worrying about yourself. That's pretty much the advice Proctor's giving Ghost. From there, you see where the Italian mob boss talks to Tommy. He pretty much tells Tommy, hey, yo, your dad, he's a snitch. Tommy is furious, don't believe him. So he showed Tommy the pictures. He pretty much at this point is wondering, well, how you get these pictures? He tells him doesn't matter, but the pictures. And then Tommy remembers either Sachs or Mox that they are an agent. So Tommy's furious. So in comes the scene of Tommy taking Teresi to see his wife. She's in hospice now. So from there, he goes and sees his wife, and she's in hospice. She's in her last stages of cancer. He pretty much tells her everything is good, everything's okay. And she's upset at first, but then once he tells her everything's okay, she's okay with it, but he's really lying to her. So pretty much that scene right there, if you watch movies and shows, you know that's the last time he's ever going to see her. Either she's going to die from there or he's going to die. So pretty much, I think at this point, Teresi was like accepting his fate. So he's seen an exit sign Or he probably could have dipped off, but I think he's just like, man, I'm old, like whatever. So he goes back in the car with Tommy. Tommy was already on to him, told him, I want to know who you've been talking to, pretty much. And so he thinking Tommy's going to take him to the Italian boss. He said, no, I'm taking you home, Dad. And then he thinking in Teresi's mind, like, well, Teresi already had a to-go bag waiting. And so he's thinking like, okay, well, they're never going to let this down. So he's thinking Tommy's going to just let him escape town or whatever. So there's a gun inside of the bag, but Teresi, he could have used it, but he thinking Tommy really just going just let him disappear. Tommy looks at him. He got a gun, and Tommy pretty much kills his father, and then puts the dead body on the his tombstone. Now I skipped a part. There was a moment after Angela won. Um, she was in good grace, and she brought Mox in the office, and she said, "Well, pretty much let him know I just had a big win. I'm not going nowhere in here. As your ranking, whatever, you need to tell me who your CI is." So of course he's not going to tell her all the situation. Like we had a CI working on you. While he just tells him Tony Teresi or whatever. He tells Angela that. So you're thinking, why did she even care? Why did she even ask that? Why? But this they gotta write that in. So this is bogus. But that's a I didn't like that, but they could have found a better way to write that. So once they do that, Teresi's dead. Tommy shows up to his mom's house, pretty much like a little boy. He didn't listen. His mom was telling him, and he tells his mom he killed Teresi, and the mom pretty much is like, "Yo, you did right." So that was that in a nutshell in the episode. So I mean, that was a good episode to spin off from last week. It's not as exciting as last week, but this still was a good episode. One episode less, coming full circle. This was a okay season for Power. One episode left. Subscribe and like, comment, share the video. Trying to build on the channel. More to come. Stay tuned.